When we talk about the big four of the pizza industry, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and of course, Little Caesars are at the forefront. The last two are not quite on the same level as the top two, but for the longest time, they held their own. Little Caesars and Pizza Hut were actually two of the earliest to enter the fray, but they're currently not on the same level. Little Caesars is not quite as bubbly as it used to be when it first started. As with most businesses, a period of decline is common, and how well it's handled is all that matters. Little Caesars made some mistakes that derailed them along the way, but before we get into that, let's look at where it all began. Back in the 1950s, there was this guy, Mike Ilitch, who used to play minor league baseball. Mike Ilitch's journey from a star shortstop to the founder of Little Caesars is a story of resilience, love, and the pursuit of the American dream. After serving in the U.S. Marine Corps in Hawaii, Mike returned to Detroit with dreams of a baseball career. His high school stardom had caught the attention of the Detroit Tigers, and they offered him a $5,000 signing bonus to play second base for their minor league teams. For a while, life seemed like a home run for Mike, as he traveled the country playing for various teams. It was during this time that he met Marion, a former Delta Airlines ticket agent, on a blind date. Despite the 4-year age gap, they hit it off, and within months they were married. However, fate threw a curveball at Mike when a knee injury forced him to retire from baseball. Now, in need of a new plan, he took on odd jobs, including being a bartender and a door-to-door aluminum awning salesman. With $10,000 saved, Mike and Marion decided to invest in their dream. In 1959, they opened the doors to the first Little Caesars Pizza Treat restaurant in Garden City. The clunky name did not deter them. It was the start of something much bigger. On their first day, they sold an impressive 49 pizzas, and by the end of the week, the count reached 296. The people of Garden City embraced the pizzeria, prompting the opening of the second location just 3 years later. Little Caesars continued its expansion, reaching 50 locations 7 years after the first. The couple's dedication to their pizza empire resembled Hadrian's Wall, extending across state lines and into Canada. Yet, Mike and Marion were not just satisfied with growth. They sought ways to streamline production. In the face of challenges, they adapted, paving the way for the success that would follow. While Mike initially wanted to name the restaurant Pizza Treat, Marion objected, leading to the compromised name of Little Caesars. Despite the unconventional nickname, it became a symbol of inspiration for the couple. The first restaurant marked the beginning of a pizza legacy that would spread across the globe. In 3 years, they franchised a second spot. By the late 1960s, there were 50 Little Caesars around. That number skyrocketed to over 200 by the end of the 1970s. Their plan was simple: open lots of restaurants, make them available to everyone, and get the name out there. The 1980s marked the full implementation of their plan, with Little Caesars rapidly expanding. They went from 500 locations in 1984 to doubling that by 1986. Throughout the 1990s, they maintained around 4,000 locations, even striking significant deals with Kmart to add restaurants to hundreds of their locations. To boost their brand, they heavily invested in advertising, dedicating 5% of their annual sales to it. Their campaigns were catchy and gimmicky, featuring a wild-looking mascot, a Little Caesar. In the 1970s, they introduced a groundbreaking offer: 2 pizzas for the price of 1, launching the famous Little Caesars Pizza campaign. It might sound like a joke, but it was a hugely successful and memorable campaign. The Little Caesars Pizza campaign became the signature association with Little Caesars, driving high sales. But their success wasn't just about increasing revenue. They excelled at managing costs. To pull off the 2-for-1 deal without compromising quality, they adopted a carry-out-only model. No dining inside Little Caesars. You walk in, pick up your pizza, and you're out. This approach saves money in various ways. No servers, no dishwashing, smaller buildings that are cheaper, and quicker expansion. All these factors contributed to Little Caesars' success. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. So, what actually went wrong? The fall was marked by a notable decline. In 1992, their US sales hit an all-time high at $2 billion. Fast forward to 2002, and those sales had dropped to $650 million, roughly a third of what they were at their peak. The figures illustrate a significant downturn in their fortunes. The period from 1992 to 2000 marked 8 consecutive years of declining total sales for Little Caesars, signaling a significant and prolonged struggle. Several factors contributed to this downturn. Firstly, the intensifying competition in the pizza market played a substantial role. The emergence of Papa John's had a considerable impact, diverting sales from existing chains like Little Caesars. With no surge in demand for pizzas, the increased supply created a challenging environment. Moreover, their advertising strategy underwent changes. In 1996, they spent a hefty $53 million on advertising. However, this figure declined to $35 million in 1997 and dropped even further, falling under $3 million by 2001. Concurrently, Little Caesars switched advertising agencies around this time, parting ways with the one they had been with for over a decade. This previous agency was credited with popularizing the iconic Pizza Pizza slogan. The shift in advertising strategy and a reduction in spending coincided with their declining sales, highlighting the potential impact of marketing decisions on a company's fortunes. Little Caesars, facing declining sales, decided to shift their advertising strategy, potentially aiming for a more serious tone to emphasize the value they provide. While this approach makes sense in focusing on what sets them apart, the challenge lies in the fact that their brand was strongly associated with those goofy and memorable ads. The silly advertisements were a core part of their image and likely contributed to their earlier success. Changing that established identity could prove tricky, as it risked disconnecting from what had initially resonated with customers and contributed to their popularity. The shift in advertising tone might have unintentionally impacted the brand's recognition and appeal. When Little Caesars decided to shift away from their goofy ads, they needed a compelling replacement that the public could connect with. Unfortunately, that transition did not happen, and they ended up losing the distinctive identity that those ads had built. Introducing a new campaign that resonates with the public is vital, and it seems they fell short in this regard. Moreover, the franchisees, the folks running the individual restaurants, were not on board with the changes. For a franchise system to succeed, there needs to be a cohesive relationship between the company and its franchisees. During this period, they faced disagreements, with franchisees disapproving of inconsistencies in advertising and other areas. This lack of alignment further contributed to the challenges Little Caesars faced during its decline. The discontent among the franchisees added to the challenges Little Caesars faced during this period. The strained relationship between the company and those running the restaurants led to significant issues. In 2000, 250 franchisees collectively filed a class action lawsuit, alleging that the company compelled them to use low-quality ingredients that were overly expensive. Additionally, the mandatory 4% contribution of their sales towards national ad campaigns became a point of contention. Many franchisees believed these campaigns were not effective enough to justify the cost. The lawsuit resulted in a substantial $350 million settlement, emphasizing the severity of the disputes. Following this, franchisees gained more influence in decision-making processes. The evident discord within the Little Caesars network during this time shows how internal conflicts can impede business operations and success. But Little Caesars eventually moved past that period. In a notable turnaround, Little Caesars experienced a remarkable comeback in 2011. Their advertising budget rebounded impressively, reaching a robust $22.4 million, indicating a renewed commitment to marketing their brand. A pivotal move in this resurgence was the resurrection of their classic slogan, which had been absent for more than 15 years. This strategic decision aimed to evoke nostalgia and reconnect with the familiar elements that had once defined their brand. By bringing back what initially attracted consumers, they were back on track. Another key aspect of their recovery involved revisiting their relationship with franchisees, a significant shift from the discord of previous years. Today, the dynamics within Little Caesars' network appear to be on a much more positive trajectory. The settlement of the lawsuit, initiated in 2000 by 250 franchisees, played a crucial role in resolving long-standing issues. This legal resolution served as a turning point, fostering a more cooperative and collaborative atmosphere. In a commitment to inclusivity and growth, Little Caesars introduced innovative programs. The manage-to-own program emerged, providing individuals with the opportunity to start as managers and gradually progress to ownership roles within the franchise. This initiative not only empowered individuals within the company, but also strengthened the overall franchise system. Furthermore, recognizing the importance of supporting veterans in business ownership, Little Caesars launched a program specifically designed to offer discounts and assistance to veterans interested in becoming franchisees. As they continue to evolve and adapt, Little Caesars demonstrates a commitment to learning from their past challenges. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Little Caesars in the comments. Do you think they'll eventually surpass Domino's or Pizza Hut? Also, will they eventually hit another period of decline? Let me know. Please make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more business content like this.